Here entered the Most High Christ. Isupk Sabbath service officially begun. Subbath, which means horn. Yayan, which means wine. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Subbath again, which means horn. Christ, and of Israel. Imagine. Going to recite the prayers. Saw Wapan Yahakodam, which means turn and face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemaya. Dash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakovka. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Arataza. Hawa. Hayah. Yashemaya. The thunder now. Come. Yawam. Salakinaw. Kawawafinaw. Kawawafinaw. Wala'a. Habayayinaw. Manasaya 1. Abal. Hawashayinaw. Ayan. Right. Kaya. Kamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapara. La'ayalamya. Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. The power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Baba Kasha. The thunder now. Hakak. Narampa'a. Wakal Hakak. Lata'al. Hamatazarayim. Hakak. Lahakwiyam. Amathia. Hakak. Arakawah. Hatama'ala. Nagawashan. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Yanya. Ahahoyam. Bayan. Yaba'a. Isaiah Ma'ai. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Arataza. Ayathan. Amawat. Bagalka. Ayanawan. Shamarka. Kanala'a. Alawam. Aba'a. Yayashan. Shalamar. Yasharala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Ayah. Yemka. Yawaman. Ashamash. La'a. Yakaka. Wayarak. Malayalak. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Bakarai. Lashamar. Afnapashka. Yahweh. So I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. You will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. Yahweh is thy shield upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. Yahweh shall preserve thee. From all evil. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. And thy coming in. From this time forth. For this time forth. Even forevermore. Even forevermore. It's only between the Hebrew. Alahayim. Alahayim. Al-Damayalaka. Al-Damayalaka. Al-Takarash. Al-Takarash. Al-Tashakwat. The Al-Tashakwat. Kayahana. Kayahana. Ayayanika. Ayayanika. Yahama Yawan. Yahaya Yaman. Wamashanayaka. The Washamayaka. Nasha'awa. Nasha'awa. Ra'ash. Ra'ash. Al-Aimaka. Al-Aimaka. Ya'ira Yamwa. Ya'ira Yamwa. Sawad. Sawad. Waya. Waya. Taya. Waya Taya Aitazawa. Ya'aitaya Aitazawa. Tazapa Wanyaka. Tazata Wanyaka. Amarwa. Amarwa. Lakawa. Lakawa. Wanakakida. Walakakida. Magoya. Magoya. Wala'a. Wala'a. Yasakar. Yasakar. Sham Yasharal. Sham Yasharal. Aiwa. Aiwa. Kaya. Kaya. Nawa Aitazawa. Naya Aitazawa. La. La. Yakadwa. Yakadwa. Alyaka. Alyaka. Bara'af. Bara'af. Yakarafwa. Yakarafwa. Ahaya. Ahaya. Adawam. Adawam. Wayashamayalam. Wayashamayam. Mawa'aba. Mawa'aba. Wahagoyam. Wahagoyam. Gabal. Gabal. Ma'aimawan. Ma'aimawan. Ma'aimalak. Ma'ayalak. Palashak. Palashak. Anyashabia. Yayashabia. Tazawar. Tazawar. Galmashawar. Galmashawar. Nalawak. Ayman. Ayman. Hayawa. Hayawa. Salawat. Salawat. Labanya Lawat. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Aishalaham. Aishalaham. Kamadia. Kamadia. Kasaya Sara'a. Kasaya Sara'a. Kayabia. Kayabia. Balakal. Balakal. Kwayashwan. Kwayashwan. Nashamadwa. Lashamadwa. Bayanda Ara. Bayanda Ara. Hayawa. Hayawa. Daman. Daman. La Adama. La Adama. Shayatamwa. Shayatamwa. Nadayabmawa. Nayawadwa. Kaira. Kaira. Wakasaaba. Wakasaaba. Wakasaba. Wakasaba. Wakatazamana. Wakatazamana. Kanasaya Kamwa. Kai Ayasay Kamwa. Ashar. Ashar. Amarwa. Amarwa. Nayara Shah. Nayara Shah. Lanawa. Lanawa. Ah, la wa, alahayim, alahayim, alahayat, alahayat, shayatamwa, shayatamwa, kagagala, kagagala, kwash, to kwash, la panya rakah, la panya rakah, kaash, kaash, kaba ira ya ira, kaba ira ira, wakalahaba, wakalahaba, talahat, talahat, haryam, haryam, kantaradatma, kantaradatma, basa irika, basa irika, wabasa wapafka, wabasa wapafka, kabahalam, kabalalam, wal mala'a, mala'a. Panyaham. Panyaham. Kwalawan. Kwalawan. Wayabakwashwa. Wayabakwashwa. Shamka. Sham. Yahweh. Yahweh. Labashwa. Labashwa. Wayabaawa. Labaawa. Adya'ai. Adya'ai. Wayakaparwa. Wayakaparwa. Wayabadwa. Wayabadwa. Wayada'aiwa. Wayada'aiwa. Kaya. Kaya. Atha. Atha. Shamka. Shamka. Yahweh. Yahweh. Labadka. Labadka. Ayawan. Ayawan. Akaha-arakaza. Akaha-arakaza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. And be not still. O my power. O my power. For lo. For lo. My enemies make a tumult. My enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. And they that hate have thee. Lifted up their head. Have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people. They have taken crafty counsel against our people. And consulted against our hidden one. And consulted against our hidden one. They have said. They have said. Come. And let us cut them off from being a nation. And let us cut them off from being a nation. In the name of Israel. In the name of Israel. Maybe no more in remembrance. Maybe no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together. For they have consulted together. With one consent. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. And the Ishmaelites. Moab. And Moab. And the Hagarenes. And the Hagarenes. The Baal. The Baal. The Ammon. And Amalek, Amalek, the Philistines, Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A Saul also is joined with them. A Saul also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot. They have opened the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. And unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Sisera. As to Jabez. As to Jabez. And the book of Kisa. In the book of Kisa. Which perished at Endor. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Sahel. And like Sahel. Yeah. All their princes. All their princes. And Subbath. And Subbath. And that's Amuna. And that's Amuna. Who said. He said,
let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves
the houses of the power and possession.
The houses of the power of possession.
All my power.
All my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before
the wind. As the fire burner for wood.
As the fire burneth for
wood. And as the flame set up the mountain.
And as the flame set up the mountain of fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute
with
them.
Thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
May they seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
In trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That they may know.
That thou. Whose name alone is.
Whose name alone is.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The Most High.
The Most High.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shah.
Why Yahweh Shah.
Why Mayaka Allah.
Why Yamaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Batazabia.
Batazabia.
Alawak Yahana.
Alawak Yahana.
Ha Alawakim.
Ha Alawakim.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Patasayanya.
Ha Patasayanya.
Ha Kayayanya.
Ha Kayayanya.
Waha Aquathia.
Waha Aquathia.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushua.
Bahashem Yahushua.
The Wada Aman.
The Wada Aman.
English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angel.
And the angel.
Commander General Yohana.
Commander General Yohana.
General.
The general.
The captain.
The captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushua.
Bahashem Yahushua.
Rachtanawa.
Rachtanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wahabayah.
Wahabayah.
Saparia.
Saparia.
Barak.
Barak. Pa'ah.
Agun.
Bagun.
Agun.
Agun.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Bahashem Yahushua.
Bahashem Yahushua. The Wada Aman.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Israel.
Israel.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua. Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
I should get curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and
In
earth.
all things living.
In all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against
that
us.
Prophets.
That prophet.
The teachers.
The teacher.
The princes.
The prince.
The priests.
The priest.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and
To the
destruction.
heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
They shake loose.
The treasure.
The treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Flush their riches.
Flush their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into our sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and
To the
destruction.
Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic
The
Church.
Pope.
The Pope.
Islam. Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology. Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Oxycomatazzi.
Pasikamatazi.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement. Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
Nassau Space Program.
Nassau Space
Army.
The Army.
Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine. Wall Street. Open up the internet.
Open up the
and
internet.
the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Cable access channel.
Cable access
The
channel.
radio channel.
The radio channels.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Many of our people.
Many of our people
That seek to stop us.
that seek to stop us
And bring swift destruction.
and bring swift destruction
To all the heathens.
to all the
That
heathen
stand in the way.
that stand in
Or
the
try
way
to stop us.
or try to
From
stop us
broadcasting your word.
for broadcasting your word
Throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the
Let
planet.
loose all the plagues.
Let do all the
Cause
places.
them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro
To the earth.
through the earth
And consume them.
and consume
Let
them.
the plagues.
Let the plagues
Shake the house of the thief.
take the house of the
And
thief
the murderers.
and the murderers.
Let Yahushua.
Let Yahweh,
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel
Come down with the flying
come
saucers.
down with the flying
And punish
saucers
all the heathen.
and punish all the
That
heathen
come up against us.
that come up against
As
us
we speak thy word.
as we speak that
Cause
word.
it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all
That it is the angels that have done it.
that it is the angels that have done
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media
Throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole
Cause
world.
it to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy
In the name
coming.
of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So always please turn. The Shabbat, be seated. Last week we left off at Ezra chapter 10, verse 2. Today we're going to pick up at verse 3. All right, so make sure you grab your swords. In the Hebrew. All right, the book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 3 in the Hebrew. Wa'aitha, Nakarath, Barayath, La'ala, Yanawa, La Alahayana, La Alahayanawa, Laha Watazaya, Ka, Nashayam, Waha Nawalad, Maham, Ba'aitazaf, Adanya, Waha Karadium, Bamata Zawath, Alahayanawa, Wakatha Rara, so like Aisha, verse 4, Kwam, Kaya, Layak, Hadabar, Wa'a, Nakanawa, Aimak, Kazak, Wa'aisha, verse 5, Wayakwam, Zara, Waya Shabai, Af, Sharia, Haka Hanyam, Ha Loyam, Wakar, Yasharala, La'ai Shawath, Kadabar, Hazar, Waya Shabaiwa, verse 6, Waya Kwam, Zara, Paratazar. If you could mark in a paper, just mark the ending verses for me, right? So I can in a note. Oh, so because you won't be here, right? So I can keep that. Yeah, just the like 3 to whatever 9, and 9 to like that. But for sure. We're in verse 6. Wayakwam, Izara, Malapanya, Wayaf, Ha Alahayam, Wayalak, Al, Lashakaf, Yahweh, Kanan, Ban, Allah Yashayab, Wayalak, Sham, Lakam, La'a, Akal, Wamayam, La'a, Shatha, Kaya, Matha, Abal, Ail, Ma'ail, Hagawallah, verse 7, Waya'ai, Bayawawa, Kwawal, Ba Yahawada, Wayarashalam, Lakal, Banya, Hagawallah, Laha Kwaba, Wala Kwabataza, Washalam, verse 8, Wakal, Ashar, La'a, Yabawa, La Shalashaf, Waya Mayam, Ka'ai Tazaf, Hashariam, Waha Zakwanyam, Yakaram, Kal, Wakawashwa, Waha Wa'a, Yabadal, Makwahal, Haga Wallah, verse 9, Waya Kwabatazawa, Kal, the water, Anashia, Yahawada, Wabanyamyam, Yara Washalam, Lasha, Haya Mayam, Hawa'a, Kadash, Ha Tasha Yaaya, Ba'ai Shoryam, Bakadash, Waya Shabawa, Kal, Ha'ain, Bara Kawal, Bayath, Ha Alahayam, Mara'ai Ya Yadyam Ayun, Hadabar, Wamaha Gasha Mayam. Verse 9 is the last verse. We're picking it up at verse. Any poking in the front here? Any what? Any poking in the front? Verse 3.
The poking in the front.
God. Oh, shit. Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. Now, therefore, all right, so remember last week we were talking about the Israelites who went and had strange wives, right? So Ezra was basically praying to the Most High, saying how we have sinned. Remember, we were saying that this is a righteous man because he didn't exclude himself from the sin of the people, right? So now we're gonna keep reading what Ezra did after that, right? Because he had prayed to the Most High to confess the sin of Israel. So now we're gonna keep on reading to see what happened after that, right? We in verse 3, Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. Now therefore, let us make a covenant with our power to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our power. And let it be done according to the law. So if you know anything about the law of Moses, starting from Deuteronomy 7, right? You couldn't even before that, because remember the Moses siblings, they had Moses' sister, she had a problem because Moses had a heathen wife, right? In the law, you cannot marry outside of your race, right? You can't marry outside of Israel. So according to the law, you have to stick with your people, and they put away their wives according to the law, right? Verse 4, arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage and do it. Then arose Ezra and made the chief priests, the Levites, and all Israel to swear that they will do according to this word. And they swear. Verse 6, then Ezra rose up from before the house of the power and went into the chamber of Johanan, the son of Eliashib. And when he came thither, he did eat no bread, nor drink water, for he mourned because of the transgression of them that had been carried away. So that brother fasted because of the transgression of his people. He didn't say, well, I'm not these people. I didn't do anything. They did. No, he fasted for them, right? Because we are one body. If we get that as a people, we can get out of the hell like our forefathers did in the past, when they made a covenant that when they made a new law saying, you know what, whatever one is going through, we are all going through it, right? And you do that by not separating yourself from your people. Verse 7, and they made proclamation toward Judah and Jerusalem unto all the children of the captivity that they should gather themselves together unto Jerusalem. Verse 8, and that whosoever will not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the princes and the elders, all his substance should be forfeited, and himself separated from the congregation of those that had been carried away. So they made a proclamation, they made a decree, and you didn't have a choice. You had to come. If you didn't come, like it says, all your substance will be taken away. Verse 9, then all the men of Judah and Benjamin gathered themselves together unto Jerusalem within 3 days. So like vehicle on So we keep this spot. Verse 9, the aldermen of Judah and Benjamin gathered themselves together unto Jerusalem within 3 days. It was the 9th month of the 20th day of the month. And all the people sat in the street of the house of the power, trembling because of this matter and for the great rain. We're going to pick up in the Hebrew in verse 10. Wayakwam, Izarah, Hakahan, Waya'amar, Alaham, Atham, Ma'ai, Latham, Watha Shayabawa, Nashayam, Nakara Yawaf, Laha Wakwayap, Laha Wakwayap, Al Ashawaf, Yasharala, Wa'aitha, Hanawa, Tawaga, La Yahweh, Alahaya, Abba, Hayakam, Wa'ai Shawa, Ratazawa, Kawa, Waha, Badawa, Ma'ai, Maya, Ha'arataza, Waman, Hana Shiyam, Hanaka Yawaf, verse 12. Waya Ainawa, Kal, Hakwahal, Waya Amawa, Kwawal, Gadawal, Kun, Kada Bariyak, Layanawa, La'ai Shawaf, verse 13. Abal, who's taking that spot?
What spot?
The fan spot. Find out if somebody's taking it. If not, you have to take it.
Say again?
Find out if somebody's taking that spot.
Find out somebody taking the spot?
The van spot, come. We need that spot. Verse 13, Abal, Ha'aim, Waha'ai, Gasha Mayam, Wa'ayan, Kaka, La'ai, Mawad, Baka Wataza, Waha Malaka, La'a, Layawam, Akad, Wala'a, Lasha Nayam, Kaya, Hara Bayanawa, Lagashai, Badabal, Haza'ah, verse 14. Ya'ai, Madwa, Na'ah, Sharaya, Nawa, Lakal, Hakwa'al, Wakal, Ashar, Ba'ai, Rayanawa, Hahashayab, Nashayam, Nakara Yawaf, Yabaa, La'aithyam, Mazama Nayam, Wa'ai Maham, Zakwanaya, Ayar, Wa'ayar, Washapatya, Aid, Laha Shayab, Karawan, Alahayanawa, Mamanua, Aid, Ladabal, Hazar, verse 15, Ad, Yawa Nathan, Bal, Aisha'al, Waya, Zaya, Ban, Takwawa, Madwa, Ail, Za'af, Waman Shalom, Washa Bafia, Haloya, Zaram, Haloyam, Izaram Wayai Shawa, verse 16. Come. Banya Haga Wala Waya Badlawa Izara Hakahan Hana Shayam Ra Ashya Ha'ab Bawath Ha'abawath Labaya Abatham Wa Kalam Basha Mawak. Verse 16. 16 is the last verse. Waya Shabawath Bayawam Akkad La Lakadash Ha'ai Shayaraya Ladara Yawash Hadabar. All right. Ezra chapter 10, verse 10. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed and have taken strange wives to increase the trespass of Israel. Now therefore make confession, verse 11, unto the Most High power of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourself from the people of the land and from the strange wives. America teaches us to be a melting pot, to all get along. Meanwhile, America truly is separated. America is truly segregated, even though they give us this illusion of integration. America is segregated. After your boss finish getting all the money in the neighborhood, he goes in his neighborhood. He don't stay in the ghetto. All right. After the CEO of the Chase Bank that's in your ghetto, the Citibank, they don't stay in the ghetto. What do? They go home. They go to their neighborhood. They go to their people. Right. Well, in the Bible, the Most High want us to be separate. The Most High do not want us to be this melting pot. All right. Yeah.
So they do that integration on purpose, right?
The integration is really to weaken us. It's to weaken us, because the oppressor realized that by being segregated, the laws of segregation help us, because when we are left alone, we prosper as a people. You understand? And when they realize that, they say, you know what? We got to give them, to take the Negroes, because there were Negroes that wanted to be part of white society, just like we are reading right now. These brothers, they wanted to be part of the heathen. That's why they took heathen wives. That's why they took other nation as their wife, as opposed to sticking to their own people. All right, and this is what Ezra is talking about. This is what we have to do. We have to separate ourselves from the land. He said, I don't mean leave the land and go somewhere else. That means separate yourself from the women of the land. Don't go to white women and Chinese women and Africans. Stick with your people. Don't go into the philosophy of the land. Stick with your culture and your moral compass that the Bible gives us. You understand? Verse 12. Then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice, As thou hast said, so must we do. Verse 13. But the people are many, and it is a time of much rain, and we are not able to stand without. Neither is this a work of one day or two. The people are like, this is not something that's going to take a day or two, because we are many. It's a lot of us that transgress this law. For we are many that have transgressed in this thing. Verse 14. Let now our rulers of all the congregation stand, and let all them which have taken strange wives in our cities come at appointed times, and with them the elders of every city. The same way you see today, right? And this shows you what we have established here in the Isupk under Commanding General Yana, what Commanding General Yana will have established or have kept alive, right, is in the scriptures. You're looking at all the different cities, they had somebody that was the elder, somebody was over these cities, or there were many people over that city. And if you look at a city like New York, we have Captain Tazaria, right? We have Captain Shamawa, who's right under him, and then we have Captain Zakor and Captain Kataza. right? Those are the elders of this city. You go to Chicago, we have Captain Mauerpart, right? You go to Texas, we have Captain Kahan. So we have elders that are over these cities, all right? Let's keep on going. Verse 14, let now our rulers of all the congregations stand, and let all them which have taken strange wives in our cities come. We read that. And with them the elders of every city and the judges thereof, until the fierce wrath of our power for this matter be turned from us. All right, verse 15. Only Jonathan, the son of Asahel, and Jahaziah, the son of Tikvah, were employed about this matter. And Meshullam and Shabbathai, the Levite, helped them. Verse 16. And the children of the captivity did so. And Ezra, the priest, with certain chief of the fathers after the house of their fathers, and all of them by their names were separated and set down in the first day of the 10th month to examine the matter. All right. So we had the elders, all right, that had the elders of the city, like we read in verse 14, that had gathered together, and they appointed specific people to do that job. All right, we're gonna keep on going in verse 17 in the Hebrew. Wayakawa, Bakal, Anashiam, Haha, Shaya, Bawa, Nashiam, Naka, Ray, Yawath, Aid, Yawam, Akkad, Lakadash, Hara, Asha 1, verse 18. Wayamata Taza, Mabanya, Ha Kahanyam, Ashar, Hasha Yabua, Nashiam, Nakara Yawath, Mabanya, Yashawai, Ban, Yawatazadak, Wa'a Yawa, Ma'ai Shaya, Wa Alahayana, Wa Allah Ya'ai Zar, Wa Ya Rayab, Wa Ga Dahlia, verse 19, Wa Yathanwa, Yadam, Lahawa Tazaya, Nashayam, Wa'a Shamayam, Ayal, Tazan, Ail, Asha Matham, verse 20, Wama Banya, Amar, Kananya, Waza Badia, verse 21, Wama Banya, Karam, Ma'ai Shaya, Wa Alaya, Wa Shamaya, Wa Ya Khayal, Wa I Zayat, verse 22, Wa Mabanya, Pasha Kawar, Alaya, Wa I Yanya, Ma'ai Shaya, Yashama Aila, Nathanal, Yawa Zabad, Wa Ala Aisha, verse 23, Waman, Haloyam, Yawa Zabad, Washa Ma'aya, Wakwalaya, Hawa, Kwalayatha, Pathkaya, Yahawada, Wa ala Yaizar, verse 24, Waman, Hamasharyam, Alaya Shayab, Waman, Hashairiyam, Shalom, Kalam, Awaryam, we're in 24 or 25? I just lost it. Shalom. Okay, come. Verse 24. Awarya. Verse 25. Maya. Yasharala. Mabanya. Paraish. Wamaya. Zaya, Wamalakwa, Wamalakia, Wama Yaman, Wa Alaiza, Wama Lakaya, Wabanyaha, verse 26, Wama Banya, Ayalam, Mathania, Zakoya, Waya Kaya, Wa'ai Badia, Wayara Mawath, Wa Alayaha, verse 27, Wama Banya, Zathawa, Alaya Wa'ayanya, Alaya Shayab, Mathania, Wayara Mawath, Wazabad, Wa'aizayaza, verse 28, Wamabanya, Babaya, Yahawa Kananaya, Zabaya, Aithalia, verse 29, Banya, Mashalam, Malawak, Wa'aidaya, Yashawab, Washa'al, Yara Mawath, verse 30, Wama Banya, Pakath, Mawa'ab, Mawa'aba, Aidat,
Last verse.
30 is the last verse. Aidana, Kalal, Banayaha, Ma'aishayaha, Mathania, Batazala'ala, Wabanawaya, Wama Nasha, verse 30 is the last verse. Ezra chapter 10, verse, where are we starting at? 20?
It's starting at 24.
24?
10, 24.
Okay. Ezra 10 and 24, and the singers. Did I read 14 verse just now?
Say again?
Did I just read 14 verse or just 7? It was 2 to 9, right? 9 to what? 9 to 16?
It was, no, 10 to 16.
I mean 10 to 16.
10 to 16. Then
17
to 23.
23. I think I read 14 verses. I remember reading this in the English. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the first month, verse 17. Verse 18, and among the sons of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brethren. I just read 14 verse in the Hebrew, I believe. I didn't read this in the English.
Yeah, I guess it would have been I was moving.
Cut. No sweat. No sweat. And among the son of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the son of Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brethren, Maaseiah and Eleazar and Jarib and Gedaliah. Verse 19, and they give their hands that they will put away their wives. There's something, paratazah. This is something you don't want to be on the record to have. You don't want to be like, well, you know, paratazah with his strange wives. You don't want to be on the record to be the brother with the African rib. You know what I'm saying? This is
talk about sex.
Cut, huh?
They're going to talk about it.
Yeah, it's going to be on the record. You know what I'm saying? It's on the record here. Go ahead.
Even Moses.
Right. And this is the beautiful thing about the Bible. The Bible is not biased when it comes to Israel. The Bible lets you know Israel messed up. This is where Israel messed up at, and this is where Israel did good at. The Bible is not like, it's not romanticized, right? It's not romanticized history. The Bible is straight up raw. It tells you our downfall and it tells you our glory. Go ahead, Paratazah.
The Bible don't have no respect of persons.
Not at all. No respect of persons. You know what I'm saying? Hell, the Lord threw us away. Even though we were his special people. The Lord got rid of us. All right? This is the beauty of this book, man. Verse 20, and the sons of Emer, Hananim, and Zebadiah, and of the sons of Harim, Maaseiah, and Elijah, and Shemaiah, and Jehiel, and Uzziah. Verse 22, and the sons of Pashur, Elionai, Maaseiah, Ishmael, Nathanael, Jozabad, and Elisha. Verse 23, also of the Levites, Jozabad and Shemaiah and Keliah, the same Kelita, Pethiah, Judah, and Eleazar. Verse 24, of the singers also, Eliashib, everybody, the singers and of the porters. You know what I'm saying? The Levite, the singers, the porters, everybody's getting strange wives. Right. Shalom and Telem and Uri, verse 25, moreover of Israel, of the son of Parash, Ramiah, and Jeziah, and Makalah, and Miamin, and Eleazar, and Makaljah, and Benai, verse 26, and of the sons of Elam, Mathaniah, Zechariah, and Jehiel, and Abdi, and Jeremiah, and Elijah, verse 27, and of the sons of Zathu, Elionai, Eliashib, Mathaniah, and Jeremiah, and Zabad, and Azizah, of the sons also of Bebai, Jehohanan, and Hananiah, Zabai, and Athla, verse 29, and of the sons of Bani, Meshulam, Malak, and Adiah, Jashub, and Sha'al, and Ramah. Verse 30, and of the sons of Pahath, Moab, Adnah, and Shalal, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Bathaniah, Bezalel, and Binui, and Manasseh. Man, it's a lot of brothers. Verse 31 in the Hebrew, right? Wabaniah, Karam, Alahai, Yaizah, Yashiyah, Malakiah, Shemaiah, Shemaiah, 32, Banyamia, Malawak, Shamariah, verse 33, Mabanya, Kasham, Mathanya, Mathatha, Zabad, Allah, Yapalat, Yaramaya, Manasha, Shamaya, 24, Mabanya, Banya, Ma'idaya, Maram, Awa, 35, Badaya, Kala Haya, 36, Waniya, Mawaf, Alaya Shayab, 27, Mathanya, Aishaya, 38, Wabanya, 37. God, 30, verse 31 in the English, and the son of Harim, Eleazar, Aishijah, Malshaya, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Maluk, and Shemariah. Verse 33, of the sons of Hashum, Mathanai, Mathatha, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shammai. Verse 34, of the sons of Bani, Maadai, Amram, and Uriel. 35, Benaiah, Bedaiah, Shelu, Benaiah, Merimoth, Eliashib, Mathaniah, Mathanai, and Jehaso. Verse 37 is the last verse. We're picking it up at verse 38. So he's just giving us the name that were on the record of all the brothers that got strange wives. And he's telling you everybody that got strange wives. You know, John had a strange wife. Junior had a strange wife. Give me some names, give me some names. Rodney had a strange wife. You know, Jermaine, Jamel, you know, Jamel, Leon, TT down the block, Leon. He's like, you know, everybody that had a strange wife. This is what's going on here. You got something to say, brother?
I have them in my Bible. They have like little notes.
Mm-hmm.
The title of what you reading, or time to put away, time to put wives away.
Because this is what, there's a reason why they naming all these brothers that got strange wives. You know, these brothers got foreigners. You know, that's what we said today. They got some foreign women. You know, they don't drive nothing but foreign cars, and they don't sleep with nothing but foreign women. This is a lot of our brothers today, unfortunately. They feel like it's an accomplishment, you know what I'm saying, to have a Kardashian. It's an accomplishment. Meanwhile, Kardashian is a dog. She is nothing comparing to the daughters of Zion. All right, and this is why these brothers, they putting them, you know, on the record, because they got to put away these strange wives. All right, this is what we're about to read further down. Verse 38 in the Hebrew. Wabanya, Waba, Nawaya, Shammai, verse 39, Washa Lamaya, Wanathan, Wa'ai, Daya, verse 40, Maka Nadabaya, Shashaya, Sharia, verse 41, Zaral, Washa Lamaya, Hawa, Shamaraya, verse 42, Shalom, Amaria, Yawa, Isupk, verse 43. Mabanya, number 1. Ya'ai, Ya'al, Matha, Thaya, Zabad, Zabayana, Yadawa, Waya, Wa'al, Banaya. Now we're going into the book of Nehemiah. All right, in the book of Nehemiah, the prophet Ezra and Nehemiah, they were going at it when it comes to these strange wives. You know, Nehemiah, he said, you know, Nehemiah grabbed the brothers by the beard. We can't wait to get to that part. You know, like what the hell are you doing? This is why we are in the condition that we are in today. This is what not Moses. This is what Solomon did that caused the kingdom to split, that caused us to be at the bottom of society. And we're gonna read a lot about you know, this transgression that our brothers were doing back then that we are still doing today. Grab
The last verse that you read was 43.
The last verse was
the last 44 in the Bible that I have.
You got 44?
Yeah, it will be the last verse. So I guess that's
it's 43. What's the last word of verse 43 in yours?
It's Banya.
In verse 43?
In verse 43, Banya.
Banya is the last verse? Yeah.
So I guess mine is 44 is verse 1 in Nehemiah. When I have.
Right. So yeah, this happened for some reason.
Understand.
So in 44, the first word you have is Debalia.
Say that again, sir.
Verse 44 is the first word Debalia.
No. Allah.
Verse 2, is that Debalia?
Verse 2.
What's the first word in Nehemiah?
The first word in Nehemiah is
Nehemiah 1:1.
Nehemiah 1:1.
Debalia, right?
Come.
Okay.
That's 1:1.
So I'm not sure where that verse is at. Where let me see. Let me see that.
Okay.
Bear with us, Israel. I want to check something here. So let me see Ezra. Oh, this is over here.
This is Ezra over here. 44.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
so come. Okay, 43. Mabanya. 43. Okay, 43 Mabanya. All right, and it ends. Okay, I think. Oh. Yeah, I don't have this verse at all. It's not in Nehemiah either.
Yeah, 1:1 starts.
Yes, the ball, yeah, 1:1. That's correct. But it's just this verse. This verse is missing. Yeah, We're gonna make a note. Send me that text. Make a note on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find out what happened in verse 44. All right, so let's go. We're in the book of Nehemiah. Give me a counter, right? Because I don't know where I'm at now. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 1. Debaria Naka Maya Ban Kaka Laya Waya Haya Bakadash Kasalwa Shanaf Aishorium Wa Anaya Haya Yafia Basha Washan.
This will be one. Yeah, one more.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, I got 43 and then one.
Exactly. So yeah, I just had to cut back. So this would be the first. Because mine it was a complete set. Mine was 44 up until 44. That was a complete set.
So one is the last one for me.
Exactly.
All right, Haba Yara. All right. Let's go ahead. Where I'm starting at 38.
All
right. Ezra chapter 10 and 38. And Bani and Binui, Shemai and Shelemiah and Nathan and Adaiah, Nadabai, Shashai, Sharai, Azariah and Shelemiah, Shemariah, Shalom, Amariah, and Joseph of the sons of Nebo, Jehel, Mathathiah, Zabad, Zebaniah, Jado, and Joel, Benaiah. Them near every brother was with a foreign woman. Verse 44. All these had taken strange wives, and some of them had wives with whom they had children. Okay, this is the verse that is missing. I have it in the English. All right. So to be in harmony with where we reading at from the Hebrew, the son of Nehemiah. So I can check something. Make sure. Make sure I do this right. All right, so 44 was the last verse, right?
Okay.
All right, we're gonna start from verse 1. All right, so verse 1 will be the first one for this set. All right, so we could be in harmony with the scriptures. So we're gonna continue. We in Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse 2.
So that was actually 7 set.
That's 7 set?
Yeah, that was 7.
You sure?
Come.
Double check that for me. August 28th, we got the cookout in Harlem, New York. All right. Make sure you go online and support us. All right. Donate to the GoFundMe. And make sure you come through, man. Marcus Garvey Park, August 28th. All right. Paratazai is double checking for me that we are in the 7 set so that we don't keep on reading past this. Now, we can be, if we started, we can be. We have one more set. Because we started at Ezra chapter 10 and 3. So this is 44. We have to do 49. So we probably in the 6th set.
Okay.
We got one more. All right.
Yes, you're right. Correct.
I know math. I know a lot of something.
I have 2 numbers over there.
All right. Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2. Remember, we doing what would that be? 7 will be the last verse, right?
Okay.
All right.
Oh no, 8 will be.
Now, because we're starting to be in harmony. Because in English,
harmony.
yeah,
7 is the last verse.
Yeah, come. Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2. Wayaba'a, Kananaya, Akkad, Ma'akaya, Hawa'a, Wa'anashyam, Mayahawada, Wa'ashalom, Ail, Haya, Yahawada, Yahawad, Yahweh the Young, Yahweh Young, right? Yahweh that is Jew, Yahweh Dumb is Jews. Hapa Layatha, Ashar, Nasha Ara, Man, Hashabaya, Wa'il, Yararashalam, verse 3, Waya Amawa, Laya, Anashariam, Ashar, Nashawa, Man, Hashabia, Sham, Bama, Dayan, Bara'ai, Gadala, Waba, Kawapa, Wakawa, Math, Yarawashalam, Mapar, Tazaf, Maparatazaf, Washai, Raya, Natazafwa, Baash, verse 4, Wayahaya, Kasha Maya, Af, Ha Daborium, Ha Alaha, Yashabthia, Wa'a Bakal, Wa'a Tha'abal, Yum, Wa'ahaya, Tazam, Wama Thapal, Lapanya, Alahaya, Ha Shamayam, verse 5, Wa Amar, Anaa, Yahweh, Alahaya, Ha Shamayam, Ha'al, Hagadwa, Waha Nawara, Shamar, Habar Yaf, Wakasad, La'a, Hadiyawa, Wala, Shamoya, Matazawafyawa, verse 6, Tahaya, Na'a, Azanak, Kwa Shabath, Wa'ai Yanyaka, Patha, Wakawath, Lashmai, Al, Thapalas, Badak, Ashar, Anakaya, Matha, Palala, Lapanyaka, Hayawam, Yawamam, Wala Yalal, Ail, Banya, Yasharala, Ibadiaka, Wama Thawada, Ail, Hatha Hawath, Banya, Yasharala, Ashar, Hathanwa, Lak, Wa'ania, Wabayath, Abayat, Kathanawa, verse 7, Kabal, Habalanawa, Lak, Wala, Throw out for that, brothers. Shamar Ranawa, Af, Hamatazawaf, Wa'af, Haka Wayam, Wa'af, Hamashapathium, Ashar, Tazawayaf, Af, Masha, Ibadak. That completes verse 7. Nehemiah chapter 1 and 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, and it came to pass in the month Chislu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace, verse 2, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that have escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. Remember, Israel went into captivity at that time. So there was a remnant that was left. And that remnant that was left, they were in great reproach. Why? Because our land was destroyed. Our land was ravished by our enemies. All right? In great affliction and reproach, the wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. So the walls that will protect the city was broken down, right? Because the enemies came and destroyed us and took us into captivity. So even the remnant that was left, we are left basically with nothing. All right, verse 4. And it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the power of heaven. Verse 5, and said, I beseech thee, O most high power of heaven, the great and terrible power, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe. So like it brought this up.
Yes, sir.
Can you watch this for me real quick, Mama Fisher? And said, I beseech thee, O most high power of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Verse 6, let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I prayed before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servant, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. All right? So this is Nehemiah praying to the Most High after hearing about the children of Israel being taken away captive and the remnant being destroyed. Verse 7, we have dealt very corruptly against thee. And that's us today. We are dealing corruptly against the Most High. We are a corrupt people following after the cultures of America. There, I go.
I meant to ask, how can you not have, because I know Israel so proud of us, it's hard-headed. How can you not have that spirit of hard-headedness and you want to do what the Most High exactly tell you what to do?
You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice pleasing your flesh. This is the sacrifice that we all have to do. All right. This is why Paul said, get that for me real quick, brothers. That which I do, I do not.
That what I do, I do
Yeah.
not.
Okay. This is why Paul said, you know, what I want to do, right? What I want to do, I don't do it. Right? Because that's a great question that you ask. Is I'm gonna get that scripture for you.
It was like fighting temptation.
Right.
Fighting the spirit.
Okay. All right. It's in Romans chapter 7, verse 15. Let's get that real quick. All right, and then we're gonna. Romans chapter 7, verse 15. All right, this is what it says, right? For we know that the law, we start at verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold unto sin. So you ask, how can we, we are a hard-headed people, so how can we not be hard-headed? And instead of, not observing the Most High God, to get rid of that spirit so we could do what God does, right? What God asks us to do, right? And how you do it, you got to realize that we are carnal. We are all carnal. Everybody is carnal. The Asian, the Esau, white people, Arabs, East Indian, everybody's carnal, right? And we are all human. We are carnal. What separates us, however, from every nation on the planet is the laws that the Most High gives us. And these laws are supposed to make us spiritual. And this is how we can rule over the planet Earth, over these other carnal people, by being spiritual. And how are you spiritual? By doing this, right? Verse 15, for that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not. What does that mean? You would want to smoke weed, right? You would want to smoke weed and get high and go to the club and twerk on some stranger that you don't know, right? This is what the flesh want to do. And this is why you see our sisters and our brothers in the world, this is how they behave. Why? Because they are feeding the flesh. They're feeding what the flesh desires. The flesh desires something, you do it. And this is what we are reading about in Ezra, and we're going to read in Nehemiah. These brothers, when they're looking at these strange wives, they know these people are not from the same nation as them, but they want to try something new. They don't want a woman that look like their mother. They don't want a woman that look like their aunt, like their sister. They want a woman that looks strange because it pleases them. It pleases them. It's like an accomplishment. Like, I have a woman that's not of my race. Right? Damn, I've accomplished something. I have a Kardashian. I have a white woman. Why? Because they are feeding their flesh. But what I hate, that do I. Okay? But what you hate to do, you hate to not be high. A lot of us, I know brothers, I remember I was in the world, like, you sober, Paratas, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You're not high, it's an issue. You hate not being high. Well, this is what you're going to do. You hate not being high, well, you're going to be sober. You hate not dressing like a whore. You hate putting clothes on and cover your behind. This is what you're going to do. You're not going to be carnal. Because the law, statutes, and commandments are to make us a spiritual people. All right? So this is how you fight that spirit that make us go against the Most High. Verse 7, we have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgment which thou commandest thy servant Moses. And this is what we just said. We are corrupt by not keeping the commandments. You understand? And these commandments are what's going to help us fight any demons that is there to make us go astray. With that, Majum up here. Up here. Next week, we're going to pick up at Nehemiah 1 and 8. So I can show Paul. Yayan. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. So far. Alright, man, woman of Israel. Admacham, which means to stand. We're going to recite the prayers. So upon your Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shabka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Tabaha, Tazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, La thunder now. La come. Ka. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kawawafi now. Kasalak now. Kawawafi now. Wala'a. Kabayai now. Banasai one. Mabal. Awashai now. Mayan. Rai. Haya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapara. Iwalamyam. Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Akkad, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Baba Kasha, the thunder now, Hakak, La Rapa'a, Ka'amakala, Waka'amadawa, Hakak, La Ta'a, Hamatazarayam, Hakak, La Hakwayam, Hamathyam, Hakak, Ka'arakawaf, Hatama'ala, La Garashan, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Du'ada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahoyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Ra'arataza, Ayathan, Namawak, Wagalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shalmar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Kazalka, Aliyah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashamar, Afna Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafka, Wamawaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ait Walam. In the English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew, Al-Hayam, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashakwa, Al-Kayahana, Al-Yadika, Yahama Yawan, Wamashana Yaka, Nasha'awa, Wa'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'ira Yamwa, Sawa, Wayata Ya'aita Zawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amawa, Nakawa, Wanakakidam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Aiwad, Kaya, Nawa'aita Zawa, La, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Bara'af, Yakawafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashamalayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagoya, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Halashak, Aim Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawa, Nalawa, Aiman, Kayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawa, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabia, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, Na Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayamawa, Kaira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazamana, Kanasayakamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayara Shah, Lanawa, Af, Na'awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Talaha, Haryam, Kantaradapma, Basairaka, Wabasa Wapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Anyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabash Bakwashwa, Shumka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabawa, Ijai, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaira, Kaya, Afta, Shumka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ayawan, Alka Ha'arataza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederated against thee. Tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. And so also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kisa, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their mobiles like a ram, and like Zahab. Yea, all their princes, as Subbath and as Salmuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power of possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame set of the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may see thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that man may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High of all the earth. Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Matazabiyah. Alawab Yahana. Ha Alawakyam. Ha Saranyam. Ha Patazayanyam. Ha Kayayanyam. Wa Ha Aquathyam. Yahweh. Wa Hashem Yahushua. Tawala Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Barak Lanawa, Wayasharala, Wahabayah, Saparium, Barak, Rafa'ah, Magun, Hagun, Yasharala, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect Israel in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. I actually became curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction for the heathen that speak against us, our prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction for the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Cause their riches to enter into that sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, militia, skinheads, Posse Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nassau Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. And bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way of trying to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread to the media throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. So, which means to turn. I'm going to give one courteous salute. Amajim Shabbat, Sister Yeshabia. Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. That's my top. So to the sister, Sister Amajim. One courteous salute to the sister, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak, Yahweh Shema Al Hashem Yahushua. Yachmata, dismiss. Barak is up. All right, next week, we're picking it up at Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 8. Shalom, Israel.